Hello, African Diaspora News family. My name is Reneilwe Morema, and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News channel. I'm reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. Remember in my previous segment, I questioned why the DA has a direct line to Donald Trump while there is a president in South Africa that should have that direct line, and anyone that wants that line should go through him first. Last year, Hellen said that she went to the United States to speak to a key advisor in the Trump administration. And today, all of a sudden, Trump is cutting all financial aid to South Africa. And the AfroForum is suddenly spreading false propaganda against the Black South African government.
President Trump's not playing. I mean, I've just been to the United States and I spoke at a seminar there. And it is very clear to me that he's saying he doesn't mind disagreeing with countries on a few issues, but when it becomes a pattern like it has with South Africa, that's when he does them no favors either. So I spoke to some of his advisors when I was actually in England at the Financial Times' conference, and I spoke to a very key advisor of President Trump, and the person said that he was sure that AGOA would be extended for African countries, but whether or not South Africa would be included was still an open question.
Have you ever wondered to yourself that DA is the one that launched the bullet called AfroForum? The DA went to speak to Trump last year, probably to make way for Trump to listen to what the AfroForum had to say, to listen to the lies from the AfroForum, because AfroForum once approached the Trump administration the first time around he was president, but it seemed Trump did not do anything then. So DA probably went to Trump to convince him to listen to them and take action. AfroForum was a testing ground for the DA to see if Trump will bite and sanction South Africa, particularly the ANC leaders as requested by AfroForum. I know it's a long shot, but it makes sense. Shahid Bolson spoke out last year about the election results of South Africa, accusing DA of whizzing their way into the GNU to launch a soft coup, and AfroForum might have been their testing ground for that soft coup.
So look, South Africa, as I warned about several weeks ago, before the election, it has been now undermined by means of what can only be called a soft coup, an electoral sabotage. But I don't only mean by means of rigged elections, but by comprehensive subversion, manipulation, and infiltration of their domestic political landscape by the United States. The so-called Democratic Alliance, the DA, which has been supported by outsiders, by the West, by the National Endowment for Democracy, and so on, by Western private sector power, collaborating with private sector power in South Africa, has now been able to move its way into a ruling coalition with the ANC. Okay, the DA is anti-BRICS. It's pro-Zionist. They represent the colonizer class and colonizer interests. I think that what happened in South Africa is tremendously important and tremendously dangerous for the entire BRICS project, because it reveals the very clear intent, in my opinion, of the owners and controllers of global financialized capital to revive and to restore colonial control by any and every means available to them, and to subvert the economic sovereignty and political independence of the global South, if they can. Like I said, if they can find ways to do it, that's what they'll do. There's a new Cold War happening. It's a Cold War that's happening right now. And I think that we're seeing espionage and covert operations and political intrigues, the likes of which we haven't seen since the 1950s, 1960s.
It's so weird that the DA is silent amid this whole Trump, South Africa, Elon Musk, Julius Malema saga. Yes, they have spoken out and said that this Expropriation Act is not necessarily a tool used by the government to confiscate land from white people. Yes, they have spoken about supporting land redress, but not at the expense of the economy. They have voiced out their support for Ramaphosa, but that's about it. Usually the statements are always loud. Their marketing strategies always make it a point for them to get their point across. Loud and clear. Julius Malema can sneeze and the DA can write a statement about that. Zuma can be spotted shopping and the DA can write a statement about that. But with Trump, that statement was not well marketed. That's unlike the DA. With Trump, that statement had an undertone to it as you know, when I read the subtext, to me it sounded as if the DA is saying, oh, master, forgive us. It's not the way you think it is. Please hear us out. But when the DA speaks against black progressive parties, it's always you. It's always a hostile tone, a hostile voice, and even cooking up some few lies. It has violence within it. It's inciting violence. It's invoking that violent emotion. But with that Trump statement, the DA responded in a very well, polite manner. I don't know. I know it's far-fetched, but when that man said that, you know, the DA whistled their way into a GNU to orchestrate a soft coup, the only thing that came to my mind is that the AfroForum might be that launching bullet for the DA, a testing ground to see that if the American economy or the American president will bite. And if that bite becomes lethal, that is when the DA will launch their soft coup. That is when the DA will move forth with their plans when they got into this GNU government. Because we know they don't have pure intentions when they came to this GNU government. We both know that they were here to advance their policies and also to make space and a safety net for white supremacists to come here and dictate our policies and dictate how the state should run. That's why people like Elon Musk and Trump today can be comfortable in saying whatever nonsense they want to say about South Africa without knowing what they actually are saying, without getting the full story or the evidence to what they are saying. So I don't know. It might seem far-fetched, but it's not a coincidence that Hellen Zille went to the United States last year and all of a sudden there's economic chaos between South Africa and America. I don't know. We will see as the story unfolds. But yeah, Sahid Bolson once said the ANC must watch out for the DA. They are not there with pure intentions. And I think AfroForum was their bullet to see how long it will fire and what impact it will make. And if it makes a loud enough impact, a very strong impact on the South African political landscape, that is when that soft coup they've been planning all along when they got to the GNU will finally take place. Don't take my word for it. This is just how I analyze this. Even Clement Manyatela from a podcast who interviewed Hellen Zille, and Hellen Zille admitted to speaking to Trump administration, also shares my sentiments. I don't know. You think about it. What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification